Welcome back to another episode of the Quarantine Diaries. Phase 1 of my plan is in motion, and I've lured the stalker back into the building. Let's hear our verse of the week.
Consider it pure joy, my brothers, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith develops perseverance. Perseverance must finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. If any of you lacks wisdom, he should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to him. But when he asks, he must believe and not doubt, because he who doubts is like a wave of the sea, blown and tossed by the wind. That man should not think he will receive anything from the Lord. He is a double-minded man, unstable in all he does.
Thanks, Jonathan. Well, we're continuing to talk about Joseph and his unwavering faith this week on the show. And today we just left off. Joseph is again facing off against his brothers, and he is going to trick them, and I don't want to spoil it yet. To catch up for tomorrow, read through chapter 48. So 45 through 48. And we'll be all caught up together. Joseph is facing off against his brothers once again. Remember, they sold him into slavery because they were angry, and I think maybe we can all relate to this a little bit. I know there's been situations with my siblings where I've kind of lost my temper, and I remember one time, I still feel bad about this, Timmy, I'm sorry, but I pushed my younger brother into a big Rubbermaid container filled with Legos and action figures. And if you've ever stepped on a Lego, you can imagine that level of pain. And again, I apologize, Timmy. So you imagine Joseph's brothers probably felt remorse, and we've talked about the isolation and the loneliness and just the situation that Joseph is in this ancient Egyptian prison, the darkest moment of his life. And you know that part of that pain was just the relationships with his brothers and that broken bond, that broken relationship. And all these things compound and add on to Joseph. And now that he's in power, we're going to see him kind of pull a trick of his own, maybe a chip off the old block. But I want us to focus on Jesus and the things that the life of Joseph points to, his successes and his failures, along with all these other men in Scripture. So as you read and as you think about the story of Joseph, here's a couple of clues. Think about who else in Scripture was sold for a certain amount of pieces of silver. He was falsely accused. He was a shepherd. He had a special love from his father. He gave hungry people bread. Something to do with a cupbearer and a baker. He had a posse of 12. He reveals himself at a meal. He forgives and he offers protection. And there's a lot more that I'm going to let you dig up yourselves and compare and contrast and find. So I encourage you to look at that today. Stay encouraged. We'll continue to look at Joseph and his unwavering faith and that amazing example that he sets. See you tomorrow. And phase 2 of my plan starts now.